Hello and welcome to another episode of the Force Diet Podcast. Wherever, whenever, and however you may be listening, we are honored that you've joined us. On this episode, we've got a jam-packed one in store for you today. We got the new Kenobi trailer drop last week on May the 4th. ICCC recap featuring all the fun stuff that Jedi John found in his travels to Nashville. And then we're going to do a Star Wars Celebration Anaheim preview, the autographs and photo ops that we've opted to empty our wallets for, things we're looking forward to outside of the panels, and then lastly we'll cover the panels that we're most excited for. All that, maybe a little bit of gaming discussion at the end with some Lego Star Wars talk if time allows, but until then, sit back, relax. This is where the fun begins.
The Force is what gives the Jedi his power.
Why is the Force connecting us?
I am a Jedi. Always two there are.
We're a dyad in the Force.
And welcome to episode 28, Force Diet Podcast. It's Jedi John with my co-host with the mostest. Well, I'm still sticking with it. I don't care.
Yay.
Obi Sean over here.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, man.
It's been a while since we chatted.
It's been a bit. We got a lot to talk about tonight.
We have a ton of stuff to cover.
Just hearing you was a real mouthful in the pre-intro.
I'm just thankful I didn't trip over myself word-wise. So
Oh, yeah. No.
I'm going to give myself 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 on that intro.
You know what? I give yourself a 10 out of 10.
Oh,
just
thank
because
you.
I'm generous like
That's
that.
very sweet.
But yeah, tons to talk about tonight. We've got all the celebration news has been leaking now the last couple. I say leaking, but it has been a trickle of information coming from ReadPop for celebration, which is crazy. We leave for celebration in 2 weeks and 1 day. We are going to be on planes to Anaheim. So pretty crazy stuff there. And then, we'll recap Nashville. ICCC was a blast and a half, and met a lot of cool people. Got a few cool autographs to talk about. And, but before we get going tonight, we got to celebrate.
Yeah. It's been one whole year of the Force Diet.
How insane.
You know,
I think it's insane.
it
flew by.
I'm proud. It has flown by. I was talking with a colleague at work the other day, and I said, yeah, our 1 year podcast anniversary is today. This was Wednesday on the May the 4th. And he goes, no, it hasn't been 12 months. I go, yeah, it's been 12 months. And it's hard to believe that it's gone that fast, and I said in the tweet, I said, I feel we've come a long way.
Yeah.
Got
around.
Got in the groove.
Yeah.
Tried out a few different things here and there, but
New intros.
Mm-hmm.
It's been good. It's been good.
It's been a lot of fun. And I think that's the most important thing, is that it's been fun.
Well, when you're talking to one of your best friends about something that we love so much, it makes it really easy. So thanks for being a good co-host, because I wouldn't be able to do this with anyone else. So
You are the co-hostess with the mostest.
Oh yes, I got it this time. I'll take it.
So yeah, we can't wait for the next 12 months. Again, it's starting off with a bang with celebration.
Yeah, what a way to start our second year. Dang.
And Kenobi.
Because we're doing this, Kenobi, and we'll probably do some live streaming from Celebration, and we'll probably record a couple casts from there also, just because, why not? We'll be in lines, so we'll have to do something.
That's a good point. I was going to say with what time, and then I forgot that we're going to be standing in line for probably 30% of the time.
Yeah, the show floor opens at 10, but I'll be in line around 6. I'm guessing you'll be there close to that time. I'll just save your spot. You won't get yelled at by anybody. It'll be fine.
I'll have to turn on the charm and make friends as I weasel my way into line.
Just hand them stickers or something. Business card for everybody. Here you go, guys.
Exactly.
Thanks for letting me cut in front of you. Great.
Yeah. So we're super stoked for the next 12 months and beyond, kicking it off right, and then you've got San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah,
in July.
Busy few months here.
So and then we've got Andor towards the end of the year,
and back towards reality.
Oh, you mean I'm not going to conventions
anymore? Not going to
anymore?
Conventions for like 3 or 4 months, yeah.
Oh, darn.
I know.
Your wallet will appreciate it.
It will. We were joking before the show. I'll never financially recover from the next 2 months. Well, even counting ICC also, just the 3 months of cons is just a lot.
ICC, Celebration Comic-Con for you. You're gonna have to take out a second mortgage on your house just to pay for your collectibles.
I'm just gonna start renting out the fourth room, not the toy room, obviously.
Of course not.
Keep that. The Jedi Temple stays intact.
So for all of you who've listened over the last 12 months, we really do appreciate you for tuning in. And well, I mean, we could do it, but it wouldn't be the same without you. So thank you to all the listeners, all over the world. So
yeah, really appreciate all you guys.
Definitely. So being that this is going to be a jam-packed episode, we're going to dive right into it. We had the second Kenobi trailer. There you go. Drop last Wednesday, and
was that on May the 4th?
It was.
Oh,
it was
crazy. We got a big announcement that day, huh?
Well, I think there were people hoping for maybe some more stuff relating to Anaheim.
Oh well, yeah. Let's stick on the Kenobi.
That's fine.
That was happy news.
Oh yeah,
happy
news.
Yeah.
So, some new stuff, some old stuff. We get the we're not going to do kind of a shot by shot recap. We don't need to do that. So, the one big kind of new thing was the sick burn that Owen drops on Kenobi when he says it's when Luke's old enough, he must be trained, and he's like, "Oh yeah." Like how you trained his father. And I had that meme, that GIF in my head of the mic drop, and it's just like, ouch.
Yeah, that's a big hurt.
That's is this the kind of emotional damage and emotional turmoil we're gonna be put through with this show? Because if so, I'm not ready for it.
Yeah, I guess Obi just told him what happened to Anakin when he delivered Luke.
Do you think so? I don't think he told him what happened.
Well, then how would he know?
Well,
Nobody knows that Darth Vader's Anakin Skywalker.
Oh, that's fair. That's a fair point.
So I guess
well,
he's like, hey,
I bet
here's the deal. We're hiding him from his father, who I trained.
But I don't think he told him what happened. Like, I don't think he's like, yeah, I left him to, roast like a marshmallow on the lava
on this fire planet
on the lava
here
plains
called
of Mustafar. I don't think he dropped that in, but you're probably right. He was like, yeah, he the guy in the black suit, yeah, that's his dad. So just keep him hidden. So, but then we get a lot more of Reva in this trailer, and she, at least from what we've seen so far, she looks like the primary baddie. Like, we're gonna get the Grand Inquisitor a lot, but it looks like she's the one tasked with hunting Obi-Wan, and I'm down for that. I mean,
I think the voiceovers we got this trailer were fantastic. Mm-hmm. I loved it.
Yeah, and we get. I didn't see as much backlash against the Grand Inquisitor this go around, because I feel like, I don't know if they've changed anything based on the initial feedback, but his head isn't taller, right? We know that, but I don't know. He looks more menacing in this trailer. Like, he's not as he doesn't have as round a face as he did in the first trailer, and I've seen some behind the scenes photos from when they were shooting and stuff like that. He looks menacing as well. So, the only one we haven't really seen a whole lot of is the fifth brother. So, and I doubt we'll get a third trailer before the show drops.
I did enjoy hearing the breathing though.
Yes,
I did enjoy hearing that. That was a favorite.
You get the right arm being clicked in, or right hand being clicked in, and yeah, the iconic sounds of Vader's breathing apparatus. So,
I'm still very excited. I mean, there's nothing really else to say about it. Like, I'm sure everybody listening to this has watched it probably as many times as Obi-Sean has. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe not quite as many, but close to it. And the excitement was built. So, the second trailer, A+, because it did exactly what you wanted the second trailer to do.
Yeah, so by the time this episode drops, we'll probably be 2 weeks away from episodes 1 and 2 dropping, and it's gonna be awesome. I hope. I
think everybody hopes.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll leave that. I mean, that's pretty much our.
I mean, what else do you need to do? Like, I mean, he's gonna be great. Ewan's gonna be great no matter what. Like, Ewan will be great in the role because he was so great the first go around. Mm-hmm. So I expect the same intensity and great acting for character actor that Ewan is, and I expect great things from him. And I'm hoping the writing holds up.
Yeah, the only question I had that came from the trailer was they have the voiceover kind of in the middle, kind of critiquing Reva for chasing after Kenobi so much, and I'm going to assume it's the Grand Inquisitor, because you can't do closed captioning, they took closed captioning off. So
Smart.
it could be Vader, or it could be Hayden, out of the mask, right?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have the mechanized voice.
I'd guess
but it's probably the Grand Inquisitor.
I'd guess because he's the coach.
Mm-hmm.
He's the leader, so he's coaching them. Like, hey, you can't just do it like this. You got to do it a different way.
Right. So I can't wait to see the interaction between Obi-Wan and Vader, especially at the end there, where it almost looks bleak, right? And how he's gonna get out of it, because that's the thing. That's the only downside, I guess, is that despite any and all peril there may be, we know he has to make it through. So, but nevertheless, I can't wait. I'm so excited. So, with that,
I mean, he's only your favorite character. So
he is.
I hope.
And I mean, Hasbro just released like their new line of Force Effect sabers, the Elite sabers, and they've got the Episode 3.
It looks so good.
Like,
it looks good.
I pre-ordered it because it just looks fantastic, and I posted about it on social media, so I won't spend too much time on it. But
go check it out though,
yeah,
because it is a great looking saber.
It looks so clean, and I believe it was 2010 was the last time they released an Episode 3 Obi-Wan saber, and I mean, I don't care if it's the static hilt or the usable, or the static neck or the usable neck. It doesn't look nearly as chunky as the 2010 version does. So they've definitely come a long way from
this one
in their saber building. Hasbro has. So
it looks really, really good. Like, I don't even know how they got it to hold together so well, because like, some of that Episode 3 saber is pretty narrow. So it's impressive and it looks good. So it's definitely one I want on my shelf. I don't know if I'm going to get it, but it should be on the shelf.
Yeah, I have no doubt that it'll be perfect for my Episode 3 cosplay that I'm working on, probably for next year. Maybe there'll be a celebration, I'm not sure, but definitely I'm leaning towards Clone Wars General Kenobi with the armor and everything like that. I can't wait for that. So so that's kind of wraps our Kenobi discussion. So leading into ICC.
I tell you what, it was a good con.
Yeah.
It's packed. Honestly, I don't think they knew what was going to happen. I mean, they had a guest list that was A+ for Star Wars. Ian McDiarmid, Anthony Daniels, Ashley Eckstein, along with some other Clone Wars voice actors. So James Arnold Taylor was there, Matt Lancher. You don't get all those people around all the time. So it was really, really cool to, I don't know, just be around it. And it was a smaller con, per se, than a celebration. So, I mean, we had it at a hotel convention hall, basically. It was between the ballrooms, which main ballroom was packed, obviously. I mean, lots of vendors, lots of toys, lots of art, lots of random collectibles. I mean, anything you can find, prop replicas, Lego. They had one, I should have gone on a speeder bike, but they had like a AT-ST along with the like indoor speeder bikes.
Oh, cool.
So like they had a quick
It's like a photo op type.
yeah, it was
setup.
a photo op setup, and it was really cool. I don't know who does it down there. I'm sure it's probably close to Nashville, probably somewhere in Georgia or something like that. But they're fantastic and fantastic people. I listen to them interact with their guests, and they know what they're doing. And obviously, it's you give them a donation so they can do these things, because let's face it, the people that do those type of items, they don't get paid for it. They do it because they love it. And you giving them a donation means either you're funding their next project or you're funding the one they already did that they paid for out of pocket that they're just trying to get back solid on. But they made this perfect AT-ST with 2 speeder bikes that people could sit on next to each other.
How was the scale of the AT-ST compared? I mean,
it was solid.
Was it really?
Yeah, I think I did. I took a picture of it, so I'll have to send it so we can post it on socials. But it was a cool background. It was a cool backdrop. They had like some trees, and so
it was the whole like a whole sort of diorama setup.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So it was just a cool setup. But anyway, that was in the main hall also. But they also had like separate smaller ballrooms had like other artists and a few small panels, and similar to every convention you go to. The big main panel was on Saturday. It was the Clone Wars panel I mean, because it had it had all the voice actors go in there. Can I just like when they start going at each other in their character voices, it's just hilarious. They just play off each other so well. I mean, they work together for multiple seasons, obviously. So,
Did you sit in on that panel?
oh yeah, it was a
Okay.
blast. It was a blast just to go in and I was one of the last people in the room. I mean, it was packed.
Did you have to like reserve a spot, or did you
No,
just
everybody
wait in
just
line?
waited in line. Yeah, I mean, and I got kind of lucky where I was because I was just walking out of an autograph, and then they were going over. So I was just like, "What's going on right here?" And they're like, "Oh, the Clone Wars panel," and like all these people were in line, and they were going, and they're like, the one guy, thank you, I'm not going to mention his name, but he was like, "Just jump in right here," and I just jumped in and got in the room. So it was kind of cool. But it was really cool just hearing them go back and forth with their character voices. And it was in and out sometimes. Like it was like they would start it and then they would go back to just speaking to the audience and then they would jump right back in and you're like, that's pretty freaking cool.
Now with Ashley, right? She didn't really have to change her voice much. Neither did Matt Lanter. James Arnold Taylor
He's a pure voice actor.
He is. If you haven't, or if you weren't aware, James Arnold Taylor voices so many different characters, like Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank, Johnny Quest, not Johnny
Test.
I think I just blended two
I'll
characters.
test you on your knowledge real
Yeah,
quick.
there you go. But then apparently he does. I was listening to his podcast, Talking. I think it's called
Talking with myself. Yeah, it's hilarious.
It's fantastic. And I was listening to the episode because he voices Obi-Wan in the Lego Star Wars game. Does a phenomenal job doing that. And he was saying like he does voiceover work for like David Spade, Christopher Walken when they overdub in their movies when they have to cut out curse words. He's the one who comes in and overdubs because I guess he does a good enough. And he just drops in a David Spade impression. He drops in a Christopher Walken impression. It's amazing.
Talented.
He's amazing.
He is so talented.
I hope he comes to Celebration.
I believe he's on the list, is he not? I thought he was.
I haven't seen it.
I thought they added him. Maybe
Okay.
not, though. I know D. Bradley's going there, so it'll be a lot of fun. But anyway, so ICC, it was a great time. It looked like it. I think they oversold the hotel at this point. It was a smaller con years ago. This was the first one I've been to, but just listening to the people in line outside with me trying to get into the convention, this was the longest line I've ever seen to try to get in. I mean, we waited over an hour just to get into the main hall. And the person I went with was just like, dude, if I would have known it was going to be like this, one, we would have considered VIP. So we get first entrance. Two, we would have got out there hella earlier so we can get in line. So we didn't have to wait so long to get to the show floor. But it was really cool. I got to hold a 12A card back for Boba. For those of you that aren't versed in the original collection for Star Wars toys, it's the hardest card back to find for Boba. And my buddy and I were going through their table and talking about prices with the vendors. And everything was like, oh, yeah, that's 1,500. Like, everything was 1,500. That's blah, blah, like. So we got to Boba, and we were both, like, looked at it. We couldn't tell what card back it was because, obviously, the card back's up. So you can't see the card back. And how much you got on Boba? He said 25. In our head, we both looked at each other real fast and say 100. And I'm like, I'll take that right now. If that's the deal that he has on Boba right now, I don't even care what card back it is. I'll take it. And so my buddy was just like, can we hold it? And he's like, yeah, just be really careful. I'm like, yeah, no problem. It's in an acrylic case. It's all good. Like, so we're sitting there holding it. And he holds it, and then I hold it. And no joke, my buddy looked at him dead in the face like, you said 25, right? He's like, yeah. And he corrected. He's like, 100? He's like, no.
And then you just get laughed out of the hall.
Yeah. Because I had made the joke, because he said 25 at first, and I made the joke, so you want to split custody every other weekend, or what do you want to do here? Because in my head, I'm like, it's got to be 1,000. But then he questioned 100, and the guy was just like, no, that's 1,000, dude. I'm like, that's why I said you want to split custody. But yeah, thank goodness. Didn't take that home. But it was really cool to hold for a minute.
Now, was that in the main like exhibition hall, or was that in that like lobby
that was
sale?
that was in the main ballroom.
Okay.
Like The lobby sale was cool. That was Friday night. We had just got there a couple hours earlier. Went down, set up our table in the lobby, and it was just chaos, to be honest. It was controlled chaos, but it was chaos nonetheless. And because, I mean, we had probably, I'd have to guess 30 to 40 vendors in the lobby of this hotel. And people were walking around buying stuff. Like, it was crazy. It was nuts. I've never seen anything like that.
Well, you talk about the line and the amount of time to get in. I wonder, did they have ICC last year?
Yes, they did. Yeah. It was much shorter to get in, not the guest list. I think the guest list probably drove the.
Well, it was effectively back to normal. Like this.
Oh yeah.
For the convention
there
itself.
Was no masks.
I mean, there were no restrictions or anything like that.
No, masks were suggested, but not enforced. Obviously, there were still some plexiglass in between. There were barriers for photo ops if guests wanted it. If the talent wanted it. I think Ian and Anthony both had barriers up. I don't think anyone else did. Maybe Matt Lanter. I don't know. I haven't seen any photo ops with him. But I will say Matt wore a mask the whole time while he was signing. So I don't know what his restrictions are for other stuff. But nobody posted any pictures with him that I saw on Facebook or anything like that. But overall, I mean,
I was going to say now with the lobby, that was when you met. You got to meet Tim Zahn during the lobby sale, right?
The lobby sale. He came up and he was looking at some figures and stuff at my table because I shared it with my buddy that we went with, and so we had a bunch of different stuff. Like probably 50 people asked this dude about his soap dish that was Luke's land speeder, but it was a soap dish.
Awesome.
It is a freaking cool piece, which he did sell there, so don't ask me about it. But it was a cool piece, and it was very unique. No one else there had anything like that. Like, that was it. Like, and he also had, like, placemats that were, like, in their plastic still, like, vintage, like...
He brought all the tchotchkes, like, all the cool, like, collectible tchotchkes.
He really did. He really did. He nailed it. And, but so many people asked about that land speeder. So, like, even Tim came over, like, Timothy came over and looked at stuff, and he's like, he pointed, because his wife was with him, and he pointed stuff out, and he's like, look at that. Like, you don't see that stuff. And it was just cool. And I'm like, can I get a selfie? I need a selfie. I want to talk to you for a second. So it was really cool just to chat with him for a bit. And it was just nice he expressed how happy he was to be able to be out again and see fans and talk to fans. And, it's funny because when you're walking around like a lobby sale like that, nobody really knows who everybody is by face necessarily. But as soon as one person realizes it, all of a sudden 10 others do. Like, hey, why is he getting a selfie with him? What's that going? What? Oh, now I see what it is. So it was that was a blast. Got a good picture with him. Talked to him for just a bit.
What did you talk to him about?
Honestly, it was just
or was it just
world
like
stuff? It was
pleasantries.
Yeah, pleasantries and real world stuff. Like, we were really happy to be back to cons. He was happy to see fans again. He's like, this is one of my favorite nights because everyone's just together and can talk to whoever they want to, and it's fun.
It's super chill.
Yeah, there's no pressure, any of those things. Like, if you don't want something, you just walk to the next table, and the same as a con. But at the same time, these are a lot of people out in that area. They're fans that brought stuff to also sell a couple things to maybe fund their trip. So, like, everyone there is just so chill and relaxed. Like, I don't need to sell anything, but if I can move a couple items, that's ideal. So, really cool stuff. I made a few $100s that night. It was fun. And it was fun just to talk to everybody because everybody, like, is looking for different stuff. So they're like, oh, do you have this? Do you have that? I'm like, I don't, but maybe this guy next door does, or whatever it was that they were looking for. So it was cool.
Now, of the items you took, how much did you come back with? You said you sold. Did you come back with more pieces than you left with?
No, I think I came home
You broke even?
Yeah, I came home with more because my buddy, who also is a pretty huge toy collector, we stopped at Walmarts and GameStops on the way down to Nashville. So anytime we stopped for food, if there was a Walmart or a GameStop nearby, we would stop. If we stopped for gas, same thing, gas or food, whatever. So we picked up some stuff that we don't find here because it's a kind of aggressive market where we live for collectibles. So Finding stuff at Walmart sometimes is tough, especially exclusives. Same with GameStops. Finding exclusives is really difficult. So when we're on the road and we're in the middle of nowhere, quote unquote, sorry everybody, in the middle of Illinois, and,
Southern Illinois.
yeah, Southern Illinois and Kentucky. Anyway, some people out there, a lot of people out there don't collect. So the figures that are relatively, one, new, two, worth pretty good price, they're still on shelves, versus here they are wiped out almost immediately. Like day one sales, they're wiped out. So we picked up a few on the way for stuff, and but even at the show I picked up quite a bit. And if I was just doing show to show without anything extra from shops or whatever, I broke even. I brought home the exact amount of boxes I came with. I just filled them with new things instead of the things I took. So it worked out. So space was right on point.
Now, with the going back quickly to the Clone Wars panel, do you remember anything in particular that piqued your interest, as far from like a story perspective, where you thought, "Oh wow, that's a neat tidbit that most people might not know"?
You know what? It's not even that most people don't know stuff. I think what impressed me the most about just them being there was how well that they work together, even when they're not necessarily working. Obviously, they're at a convention. They know they're there for a show, so to speak. But just the way they interact with each other, you can tell they get along really well, and the chemistry's just there all the time. Otherwise, I mean, honestly, we would have had recast at some point if the chemistry was not there. And I think that's just the most impressive thing to take away from them in the same room, is their chemistry together. And you just don't see it all the time, even on, like, you see it on sitcoms and stuff like that, because you're talking about some sitcoms that run for 15 or 20 years. Like, they ran for 7 seasons, and they had time apart.
Yeah, there was like a 6-year gap.
Yeah,
something like that.
Something like that. And they still come back together and just rock it. And it's hard to find that kind of chemistry. So just seeing them all together, I think that was the biggest takeaway for me, just because there was just so much. Yeah,
and especially since they're voice actors, they're not physical actors, right? Where you can develop that camaraderie.
Yeah, they don't even have to be next to each other while they're doing
their recordings.
Their scenes, yeah.
And generally, I think a lot of times they aren't. You know, they're in their own studios or or what have you. So developing that friendship and that bond, being apart, and as voice actors, you know, that's even more difficult. So
right. I think that was just the biggest takeaway, though. But overall, ICC, great. We saw a lot of great cosplays. Big 501st presence there, which was nice to see. A lot of different things that, you know, you don't see all the time. That goes for any convention, though, you go to. There's going to be something that you're not used to seeing. It was really cool seeing all the droids right up front. Like, they had R2s, BB units. I mean, they really did a great job with the droids. It's a whole droid builder guild that does that stuff. So congrats to those guys, because they put on a great show again. I saw a Jedi Mickey. That was great.
with a robe, like
a robe and everything.
Okay.
Robe, lightsaber, good to go. The only problem with Mickey was he spoke, and I wasn't happy with that, because Mickey doesn't speak in costume. Anyway, to be fair, he did have a very, very good voice for Mickey.
Okay.
But around some of the adults, he may not have been as appropriate as he should have been. Even though kids may have been out of earshot, it still wasn't Mickey. But it was still funny, and they did a good job.
So now, talking about the things you picked up, you know, you laid out a wall of Obi-Wan in front of me before we started recording, and
I wanted to make you jealous because it's your favorite character. So.
Well, and then, I'll let you tell people about the other piece you picked up. So, talk about some of the things that you brought back.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had, as far as collectibles I brought back from the show, I mean, I picked up a few pops. What Sean was alluding to was my 4-pack of Obi-Wan Kenobis. I don't really know what else to say about them. I mean, for the pops, I mean, it's a Walgreens exclusive Clone Wars, like Attack of the Clones pop, along with a Smuggler's Bounty. Also, I think that's episode 3.
Now, what is this? What are the? So I see you got 2 Smuggler's Bounty. So what is Smuggler's Bounty?
So that's a paid box that's exclusive to Star Wars. So
and
you
it's
get
sold
pops.
where?
I want to say smugglersbounty.com.
Oh, it's a website.
Yeah, it's a website.
Okay.
I actually don't know if they still do those. I imagine they do because I know they're still doing Marvel Collector Corp boxes. But the I don't know if it's StarWars.com. You got to go to for the Smuggler's Bounty, or you can just Google it.
Yeah, because this one I got in my hand is an old Ben. It's 2016.
Yeah, but the Smuggler's Bounty boxes, well, any Funko boxes, they come with 1 or 2 pops, and then you get a T-shirt and some other trinket. So I know you saw my Marvel boxes.
Mm-hmm. I was just about to say it's like the Marvel
T-shirt
boxes
with the toothpick holders, which are really just shot glasses, but they call them toothpick holders because it's Funko and it's family friendly. So I got two prequel Obi-Wans between Walgreens and Smuggler's Bounty, and then I got 2 Episode 4 Obi-Wans. One was this one's out of the vault, so it's not the original Obi-Wan that came out. And then the Ben Kenobi from the Smuggler's Box, very cool pop also, but came out much later than the original Obi-Wan. But really cool pops. I got those as a lot with a bunch of other, like a Clone Wars exclusive pop, a Finn. Like I picked up a Force Awakens Finn with the blood across his mask. Like,
sure, as a stormtrooper.
Cool, yeah, it's just a cool pop. But yeah, I got a lot for those. And other than that, honestly, I brought home autographs and memories. Mm-hmm. I didn't bring home a lot of toys this time. The one big one over there that we had to move earlier was the vintage Slave One.
The original Kenner.
Yeah, the original Kenner Slave One. Notice how it says Boba Fett's spaceship on there too? Mm-hmm. It says Slave One though, but Boba Fett's spaceship. Anyway, very cool stuff. It's got it's kind of crazy because it's got a black carbonite block for Han in there, which obviously in the show is gray, but they made it black for the Kenner. And
it's probably cheaper that way back in the 80s when they first made it from a molding perspective, not having to deal with colors.
I'm sure. So, but very cool piece, complete ship. I'm a huge Boba Fett fanatic, so it was an easy pickup for me, even though it was a little pricey. It was probably the most I've spent on a single item ever.
Because you didn't have to pay for Globy One.
No.
You want him in a raffle.
He is more expensive than that, but I did not spend that on him. So it might be my most expensive piece that I've paid for to date.
Yeah, but it's
a really, really cool piece.
It is. It says, no, that doesn't say vintage on it because it's not like the vintage collection because you do have a vintage collection. Slave One somewhere. So
it is around also, but yeah, it doesn't have to say vintage collection because it is the original collection.
It's the
OG. Very cool piece though. The guys, I got that from the lobby sale. They were the guys selling right next to me. And all night I was talking to them about random stuff, Lego.
Did they have the Lego, the Lego that you got me too?
That is
same
Lego.
guy. Okay,
yeah, same pair of guys.
Same people.
Yeah, I think one guy sold me that. The other guy had the Lego. His son was very disappointed. He said that he sold all of his Lego. Every Lego he said he brought, he sold.
That doesn't surprise me.
Which is insane to me because our local shows aren't very Lego heavy. But he even admitted to me, he's like, it was kids, and they shelled out money for these vintage sets.
Well, the two pieces that I sold at the last Toy Man went to kids, or young adults, people college age, and like the ATST that I sold, the kid walked by the table and goes, "Dad," and he picks it up, and the dad turns around and kind of rolls his eyes, and he goes, "All right, you got money," and he paid for it and walked off. So
it's just crazy to me. Because, the guy had, Jabba's Palace, the original Jabba's Palace, $350 to $400 set. And he said a 14 or 15-year-old pulled out his wallet and just gave him cash. And I'm like, I wanted that. I hate kids. I'm kidding. I don't hate kids.
That's a lot of grass cutting.
But that's a lot. He legitimately, the dad was just like, yeah, if you want to spend it here, go for it. And that's just insane to me that the kids know. But also, in the lobby sales, my buddy was selling vintage loose ships, like Y-wings and stuff like that. And it was so funny because, no joke, this kid could not have been more than 11. Comes up, how much is that Y-Wing? And I'm like, first of all, that's impressive. But he asked, how much was that Y-Wing? And he told him the price. And he's like, is it complete? And we both just stopped. And I'm like, whose kid are you?
The kids are savvy these days.
Yeah. We were like, whose kid are you and what vendor are you with? Like, that's what we want to know. Because, I mean, normal 11-year-olds don't know to ask if things are complete or not for a 40-year-old Y-Wing. Like, that's different. So it was, like I said, ICC, a lot of fun. They may have outgrew their space. I hope they get a little bigger next year. But then again, guests drive the crowd. And I'll tell you right now, the autograph line, when I had to get in line to pay for autographs and such, they were long. I mean, I lucked out. I got down there at a slower time. So because you got to cut off the line in the lobby because you can't block the entire lobby. So part of the line was all the way down the hallway that was going towards rooms and stuff. But the main line was still about 30 minutes long to get the autographs. But I could have been an hour or an hour and a half back. So I caught a good time to get in there and just get in line for autographs. But it was still a lot of fun, and talked to good people in the autograph line, talked to good people at the lobby sales, talked to good people in room sales, after hours, because you just post on Facebook, like, I'm in this room, show a video what you got, come by and see us. And we just chill in the room, order dinner in, drink, smoke a couple cigars, watch our room, and, have good memories.
It's like that episode of The Office when they go to the convention and they have the room party.
Yeah, I was Michael standing outside.
Disco? Did you guys have a disco ball?
No, but I was sitting outside. Come on in. Well, who else is there? Just you. You're the first one.
Let's get start the party. Now, with the autographs, who did you... I mean, first of all, you got to talk about that.
Oh, yeah. So
you forgot about the other pop.
I did.
Before we dive into the
one
autographs.
of the pops I did pick up was from a room sale. It's a Chewbacca pop from Force Awakens, and I had they had Peter Mayhew sign it, and it's definitely at the end of his signature life, and I can't be more thankful for a piece like that in my collection, just because I have a photo of him signing stuff, and a photo that he signed. Sorry, it's a Chewie outside of the Falcon in episode. I think he's outside on Hoth, so it's 5. So he's getting ready to get in. This piece, like, it's just super nice. Silver marker on the window of the pop, and he'll always be Chewie for us. So Junis does a great job also, obviously, but Peter was always Chewie.
Well, you plopped that on top of the other 4 Obi-Wans, and I was just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I really should have stayed up for the show. I'm like, I got a surprise for you. This is what else I got.
Yeah.
But, I got a decent deal. I mean, it's a deal to me because I wanted it. So somebody else might say, "Oh, you got a crappy deal," but for me, it's a
collection.
Piece.
It's a collection piece. It's never
going anywhere else.
Correct.
Yeah, that piece is gonna sit right next to. I'm gonna make room on it somehow on that shelf right there. I'm gonna make room, even though all those pops are more expensive than this this one. I'll make room. But yeah, so that was a cool signature to get just in room sales. And then the autographs we actually paid for, I got Ashley Eckstein on the Ahsoka Black Series figure. Looks fantastic. I love her signature. I can't speak about it enough. Like, her autograph is just, it's just so well done. And she's so deliberate with all of her strokes. Like, if you ever get to watch her sign something, like, she is just so deliberate with everything. And she also has a photographic memory. So, again, she remembered, like, I literally had to say, like, 5 words to her, and she's like, I know you. And I've seen you multiple times now. And I'm like, yeah, here and here. And then she went in, like, I was doing a photo shoot and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, right. And you came in after and all this good stuff. Like, such good memories and such good interaction with fans. And she has good interactions with almost every fan. I've never heard anybody complain about interactions with her. I also got to get a selfie with David, which was super cool for me, obviously. So David Eckstein, if you guys don't know, MVP World Series 06 for the St. Louis Cardinals. I'll celebrate that for the rest of my life just
Forever.
because it's World Series in the Cardinals uniform. So
Well, and that was the first World Series in our lifetime.
yeah. Oh yeah. True. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
They hadn't won since '85.
That's right.
Prior to that.
So and then we got 11 and 11.
Yes, we
But
did.
Anyway.
David Freese.
Yeah, right. Oh, 2 Davids right there. Look at that. That's interesting, huh? Cardinal recruiters, go find some Davids. Anyway, but I got to spend a little bit of time with him. He talked to me about some of his time with the Pirates because he, he was with Ashley, obviously, but if Ashley was busy, he was just doing whatever he felt like doing because, he's not tied anywhere. But he was talking to me before I got to go see Ashley, and it was really cool. Just to have a quick moment with him, also a plus. Got to talk to, signatures by Ian McDermott. Always awesome. Always such a cordial, friendly person. Handlers are super awesome too. Just awesome. Got him to sign an 8x10 photo. I already have him on a figure, so I didn't need a new figure signed by him. And then I got Anthony Daniels, also 8x10. It was from episode 4. It's 3PO and R2 on the Tantive. Just real quick, first scene. Yep, get the picture, get the autograph. It looks fantastic. Again, very deliberate with his strokes. He takes his time. Not a huge talker, but very pleasant guy. One of my favorite interactions of the whole convention was Julian Glover, though. Got an autograph for him. For those of you that don't know, he plays General Veers. Doesn't have very many lines in Star Wars, so didn't get him to quote anything on it, but got a signature on an 8x10 just of Veers with his little hat on. I wish they had the helmet from Hoth, but they didn't have that photo, so I settled for the hat. But honestly, just talking to him because he had a little bit of time. He's a popular guy, but not as popular as some of the newer stars that have been in things more recently. But he was also in Game of Thrones, so I got to talk to him a little bit about that, and it was just fun hearing him talk about the sets and how much fun he has playing roles, especially when somebody like Master Pycelle, where he's not always forward with his intentions, so to speak. So he's holding things back at all times. So he talked about how he conveys that in his characters, and those conversations I just cherish because, no offense to Julian, but there's not a ton of time left for actors of his caliber and what he's done in his lifetime. And hearing him talk about the effort that he still put into Master Pycelle, and it's old dude. So putting that effort in, still conveying that, I don't know, that secretive lifestyle that Pycelle lived, even though he was supposed to be something completely different in some cases. It was very, very cool just listening to him talk. And he's very, very genuine guy. Very awesome. And not going to lie, when you can walk into the bar and you see Julian Glover just sitting on a couch at the bar at night, you're like, that's freaking cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, that's cool. And you can go sit next to him and he'll chat with you. So it's really, really cool. Just a fun experience.
Yeah. Because like you said, you get that depth of conversation that you don't necessarily get with other talent. And those are the things that you tend to latch onto and remember the most. So
Exactly. So really cool stuff.
So out of 10, what are we giving your trip to ICC?
You know what's funny is I'm going to give it an 8.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8 because I think they, again, depends on the cast list, right? If they have a list guests, they got to get bigger. So they got to get a bigger space because waiting an hour and a half just to get in after opening time, I don't want to do that. It's just not, it's not fun. That kills 2 hours out of your day basically. So I'd like it to get bigger, or at least a little better plan for security stuff. Like the thing that was taking the longest was security checks. Like they were checking bags, and which, hey, I totally get they have to do that stuff, but have more than just 2 guys doing it then. Let's speed it up, guys. We can do this. So, but also it depends on staffing and all that jazz. But so either one, get bigger and make it bigger,
Like
or
grow space, like
grow space,
go to
get bigger
different
space. Yeah, or or staff more people, especially day one at the big day at the door, like staff more people at the door just to get people into the convention. And then the other thing, the other thing was I wasn't disappointed with the floor. Again, I think it was more spacing. Like once you got on the ballroom floor with all the vendors and stuff, it got to be crowded and it was some bottlenecks. And that happens at every convention, but in a space like that, when you have that many people inside, it's just tight. And then the autograph situation was
disorganized.
I'll just say horrific.
I mean, you were telling story. You were texting.
Yeah, the guys there were doing their best. Like, I don't take anything away from either volunteers or paid staff. They were doing everything they could with limited knowledge that they had about if a guest went to lunch. Oh, what time are they coming back? I don't know. Like, there's no, like, set times. So it was difficult for them to answer a lot of questions, which, not their fault. They just didn't have answers, which is frustrating for con goers because all we want is answers because, we're entitled.
Well, you're trying to plan your time, right? You've got, all right, I've got an hour here to stand in line, and if they're gone,
right.
Do I leave and then walk the con? When do I come back?
And they were super friendly about like, hey, just go find something fun to do for 30 minutes. Come back. Like, like they were trying their best to like keep everybody in line and do what they were supposed to do. But they had this window system, like similar to any other convention where you have a time slot. But it wasn't time slots. It was, hey, we'll call it group 4. Okay, cool. I'm group 4. Great. When's that? Well, we don't know. Okay, cool. What group are you on now? Well, we were doing groups, but now we're kind of got away from it. Okay, well, that's not helpful either, right? So, but they were doing their best. The problem was people in group 13 would be in line for, say, Ashley's signature, and I'm group 4. Okay, so why are you guys even in line? Because they haven't even let me in yet, and I have a ticket 9 groups ahead of you, and they haven't let me in yet. So what are you doing in this hallway right now? Why didn't they tell you to walk around or go do anything else? Well, we want to make sure we get Ashley's signature. Okay, that's fair. I get it. But at the same time, you're in group 13. They're on group 2.
It's like a B boarding group on Southwest trying to sneak on an A flight.
Yeah. Yeah, what are you guys doing? You guys are lining up for no reason, except at Southwest, they tell you, get the hell out of line. And here they were just being nice to everybody, saying, well, if you want to go look around for a while, I mean, you're not up. And they were like, well, I'm just going to stand here then.
Well, I do want to thank you for sticking it out because you did give me an autograph on my cool brick, on my Lego brickhead of Ahsoka. You did get Ashley to sign it. So thanks for sticking that out for
oh yeah, not a problem
for me.
It's also nice because that gave me a little more time to talk to her too, because I had 3 things for her to sign, so it gave me a little extra time just to chat. So that was also nice. So for all you con goers that are like, I don't want it to be rushed with this actor, hey, buy multiple autographs because then you're guaranteed to stand there for longer. But I will caution everybody, like as we move into some celebration news and notes that we're going to head into next, but like just remember, if you pay for a guest autograph, that's what you're paying for. You're not paying for a meet and greet. You're not paying for a 10-minute conversation. You're not even paying for a 2-minute conversation.
You're not even paying for a hello.
Yeah.
Frank, if we're being frank.
If we're being frank, you're not paying for them to speak to you at all.
Right.
You're paying for them to look at you, and you slide the item that you want signed over to them, or their handler hands it to them, depending on who it is, because some people did not want to be handed things other than from their handler. So it just kind of depends on what it is. But you are paying for their autograph. So I just want you guys to curb your enthusiasm, so to speak.
Temper the expectations.
Yeah, and temper it because you paid for an autograph, which they will be more than happy to do. If you get more, celebrate
bonus
that. And really cherish that moment, because you may not be able to see that person ever again. Hopefully you do, obviously, but maybe not. So cherish those moments you have with them if they give you more than just a signature, which I will say most stars do. Most do. But some might scribble it down and say, have a good day. They might say hello to you when you walk up too, but that might be it. Oh, hi, how are you? Great, good. This is what I'm signing. Okay, great. Have a great time.
Right.
So, like, some people are really good. Some people are really, I'm not even going to say not good. They're getting paid for a service, and you're paying for an autograph. So just temper the expectation on some of that stuff. Yeah, that's all I got for ICCC, and we'll roll right into
we'll
celebration.
yes. Which well, I mean, do we want to stay on the autos and photo stuff first?
Oh my goodness.
So
there's so many things.
Yeah. So I mean, since the last time we recorded, Ewan was announced, which tells you how long ago it's been since we last recorded. Timur Morrison has been announced, and I believe there's been a handful of others, but those are the two big recent announcements.
Man, Ewan is $300. Photo,
$299.
Photo, or auto.
Yes, and I bought one.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna go first. Yeah, so I bought a photo op with Ewan.
I'm not surprised
because I have two of his autographs, or two pieces already autographed by him. One of which is an episode 1 style lightsaber hilt, and I got him to write "May the Force be with you," and so that was a send away back in 2020. A comic shop did that, so I didn't need another autograph, though I wanted one. So, but I figured, okay, I've already got his signature. I want to get a photo op. So, yeah, I've got a photo op. I'm signed up for a photo op on Saturday with Ewan McGregor. So, to say I was excited would be an understatement. I was like over the moon. I texted Kara and I was like, "Can I please get this?" And
I'm so happy you asked for it.
I'm
proud of you. I would have just done it and been like, so the credit card is going to read.
I did it only because of the cost. I mean,
it's expensive.
It is pricey. And, to talk real quick about the autographs, it's $300, and that doesn't come with a personalization. That doesn't come with words or anything. It's just a signature. So the item that I sent away was quite pricey for the quote and the JSA, although that wasn't that much. But yes, I did ask because Ewan is, well, Obi-Wan's my favorite character. Ewan, obviously, his portrayal is by far my favorite, and so
your wife was not surprised.
She was not. She was when he was announced, she kind of knew that was going to happen, and so
she was just hoping it was cheaper,
without question. So I've got to sell some of my Lego stuff, but yeah. So I mean, I can't wait. I mean, I'm hoping that there's a level of freedom with, whether or not he has a barrier or not, or, I guess we'll find out. But, talking about expectations, like I have something I hope that he'll do with me. But if it's just me and him, me standing next to him, that'll be, I mean.
The good thing about photo ops is a lot of actors, I'll caveat that with especially the younger ones, will pose. So I hope you get what you want.
I hope, because I want to do the Soryezu pose from episode 3 when he's fighting Grievous. I want that point, that he does. And so if I can get that, I mean, the experience itself is already going to be amazing. Whether I have to wear a mask or there's a partition, I don't really care. I get to meet and say hello to my favorite Star Wars, the person who embodies my favorite Star Wars character. So I can't.
How many times is he gonna have to say hello there?
Oh, I'm probably gonna. Hello there.
You better come up with something different to say to him, because he's gonna get tired of hello there.
Oh no, I don't plan to. I'm probably gonna walk up and say, General Kenobi.
That's what they all say. That's what I'm talking about. He's gonna get bored of that.
No, yeah, I'll
General Kenobi.
Another happy landing. I'll come up with something creative. With it, maybe I'll dig through.
Maybe at the end, another happy. That's good.
But yeah, I'm over the moon excited for that. The reason I sent off my saber to get signed was I never knew if I was going to get a chance like this, and so
this is his first celebration.
It's his first con.
Yeah.
Period.
Oh yeah, he was supposed to go.
To a couple others, but COVID and I think both were COVID cancellations. I can't remember, but
he was supposed to go for Birds of Prey a couple times with Harley Quinn there.
Right. And so this is his first convention ever. And so, yeah, I'm just over the moon. I'm tickled.
Yeah.
Do people say tickled anymore?
Tickled.
To describe happiness? Probably not, but
I'm tickled.
I'm tickled. So,
Yeah.
And then and I'm still holding. I know we're both holding out hope for
Hayden. Yeah.
Which if he comes and they did some sort of team up,
If they did team
it'd
up
be
photo,
like $800.
it doesn't matter. I'm paying for it. I'll split it with somebody. I don't care. I will get Hayden and Ewan in one picture.
Well, you're
if I
only
can.
allowed 2 adults, and there's 3 of us going.
Well, congratulations.
So
Somebody has to fight for it.
Me and Keith have to wrestle for it.
I will break a pool stick on the ground and say I only have 1 spot available. Good luck, boys. So and walk away,
Oh my goodness.
Joker style.
Yes.
Anyway, too bad Mark Hamill's not coming. He's filming a movie though, supposedly.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Anyway, but yeah, I would love if Hayden came. I am holding out hope for him. I did not get his signature last celebration, and I am kicking myself for it. So I hope he comes this. I hope he's the last announcement. That'd be great. But no. So I held out for a while for autographs because I'm like, well, I'm going to get Ashley at ICC. I'm going to get Ian at ICC. I got Anthony ICC. So I'm like, well, thank goodness they were cheaper also there. Anyway, but I don't know. I was holding out for somebody. And then when I found out Mark wasn't coming, I'm like, well, that's one down. And Hayden hasn't announced yet. I'm still waiting. But then I would love to get Pedro.
Oh yeah.
He's still on the list, but he's not. I don't think he's going to announce. But then Tamora did announce, and I said, well, that's who I'm getting then. I'm getting Tamora. So I did get 2 autographs from him. So I have 2 different figures I want to get signed. So one is a classic Django figure. It's a Black Series figure, but it's still the classic, like his episode 2 Django. And then I've got one from him on The Mandalorian on Tython before he gets a suit. So if I find him in the suit before Celebration, which I don't think I will because last I heard they're not out yet, I will just get. I'm more than happy with this one because it shows his face and everything on the package, so it's cool.
It is a cool figure.
But I know you keep pointing at
I
that.
did mention it before we started recording. You're like,
That Star Wars Celebration.
I hate you.
That Star Wars Celebration, blue chrome, 2,500 count pop is staring me right in the face right now. And Sean did suggest, why don't you just get that one signed? And I don't know if I can. I wish. I mean,
if it's never going to leave your collection, you could get it. You could get it signed.
Well, I could get signed. It could still leave the collection. It just
True.
goes to a different buyer. But that's such a grail piece already. That means $300 pop. So getting a pop like that signed is, I don't know. You could hurt the value. I don't know. It just depends on the collector.
Well, it's vintage Fett too, so it's not technically.
It's not
Tamora's Fett. So the one you have it obviously makes more sense
and
because
Django, obviously, too.
Well, of course, but talking Boba, the one you have is certainly more
him.
It is him.
It's him. It's
his face.
It's his face on there. But yeah, so really cool photo ops. Obviously, we're both looking forward to Celebration very much for the meet and greet that we get with the characters as we are getting our photos or signatures.
Yep.
Just because, while you don't expect it all, you hope, and yeah, that's what rebellions are built on. So
well, and I imagine the fact that this got delayed 2 years, I don't know that Ewan would have come. There would have been no reason for him to come, technically, because there would have been no show to promote or anything like that. So, honestly, this being delayed for 2 years has made this my particular opportunity possible. So, I guess you could call that a silver lining. But yeah, the nearly 3-year wait is almost over.
Yeah.
And so, talking about kind of like what we're looking forward to. Now, you were at Chicago. I was supposed to be at Chicago. My son was born, which is great, obviously. But for someone who's new, like myself, going to one of these, what should I? Because looking at these panels, I'm literally going to have no time for anything else. It looks like, and so I don't know when I'm going to walk the floor. How do you ration your time, or how do you prioritize your time at one of these things?
So I will say in Chicago specifically, one of my days, I spent a lot of time in the convention. In the celebration stage because they had multiple panels that I wanted to watch and listen to and all that good stuff, which was a ton of fun.
And you had Jedi Master VIP though, so
I did have VIP.
You had that little perk.
Well, you could get into the other than the first one of the day, you could be in standby for anything.
Gotcha.
So, and believe me when I say you're in standby for anything, you could get in. Like you're getting in. So that was cool. The panels were really fun. The first panel of the day is what we have to go to lottery for this year, which I don't have access to, which I did before. So, like the big ones, like the Mandalorian, the Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary one. That's the first one on the celebration stage. That'll be lottery. The Bad Batch season 2 will be lottery on Sunday. I know I'm missing one right now, and I really wish I wasn't.
Well,
It's just opening ceremony.
Well, Thursday's, I think, big one is the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase on Thursday. That's 11 to 12:30.
Is that the first one on
That's
the celebration
the first one
stage?
on the celebration stage, and then streamed to the Galaxy and Twin Sun stages
Right.
as well. And then Friday you've got the 20th anniversary, Attack of the Clones is the big one. Saturday is the Mandalorian discussion with Favreau and Filoni.
Yeah.
And then Sunday is the Bad Batch season 2.
It'll be great.
Discussion. So
those first panels are the ones that you have to enter lottery for. So if you win the lottery, you'll either get placed on Celebration Stage, Galaxy Stage, or Twin Suns, depending on which one's co-streaming it. Mm-hmm. But other than that, there weren't any lotteries in Chicago for other panels. Like it was first come, first serve, or standby wait for Celebration Stage and stuff like that. So one thing that I got to go to in Chicago that I was like, I'd love to do that again was the cosplay, which is on one of the stages this year again. And I think it's on Galaxy.
I think that one's on
Saturday. Yeah. I believe it's on the Galaxy stage. It was a lot of fun to go to because you get to see some impressive, like super impressive cosplays, like cosplays you'll never see anywhere else. So that's really cool. But as far as managing your time, honestly, you got to pick your panels you want to go to. You're there for info. I mean, you're at the convention to see people talk that you don't get to see talk. Now, the good thing I can say is if a panel is on Celebration or one of the other stages like Galaxy or Twin Sun stage, and there is no other panel that is above it in the headlines, you could say. Mm-hmm. So if there's something on Celebration stage and then also something on another stage at the same time, Celebration stage is going to get priority on the TVs in the convention hall. Mm-hmm. So normally when there's big panels, they play them all on the TVs in the convention hall. So even if you're not in a panel, you might be able to watch or listen to the panel, which is kind of nice. If they're on one of the three main stages.
Right.
If they're the smaller stage rooms, if you're not in there, you don't get the info. But what I will say is do what you want to do. I mean, that's just it. Like, because what you want to do will make you happy. I mean, that's the best advice I can give is if you want to go to convention and go to Celebration stage and sit in there all day long because you're happy with the panel schedule, you're not going to be upset with your day because you're going to hear stuff that you want to listen to. Similar to those people listening to our podcast right now. You're listening to the podcast because you enjoy the information you get. Same thing there. Mm-hmm. It'll also save you a ton of money because if you're on the convention floor, God knows what you're going to find or see or be able to negotiate a price for. So things on the convention floor that you don't expect to see, but you will. Stuff like video games on the convention floor. You might expect to see some of those, but like actually demoing Vader Immortal in 2019.
Oh, sure.
That was super cool to do because I don't have a VR set. So like demoing it and playing it, I'm like, I really need to look into this. And I did, and I'm like, I don't need this right now, but it was really cool to play. And if somebody asks me about it, I can say, get it because it's cool. It's cool to play. And if you're into VR games, it's awesome. But they do have like game demos. They have in 2019 they had Galaxy's Edge demos. So that was really cool, interactive.
Well, and speaking of VR, there's a VR thing about Galaxy's Edge where they just, I guess they there it is. Yeah, go beyond the spires in virtual reality, making of ILM X Labs, Tales from Galaxy's Edge. That's on Saturday.
Yeah.
No, that's Friday.
But that's just it. Like they do, like on the convention floor, you're gonna find obviously all your merchandise. You'll have your exclusives from Hasbro, Funko,
Maybe Lego. I guess we'll find out
Lego.
about Lego.
Yeah, Lego will have something, I'm sure. They haven't announced yet. I mean, Hasbro hasn't announced their exclusive either. Funko has announced a pathetic line. Sorry.
Positivity.
If you
Positivity.
could have seen my face there, chat. That's it was rough. I mean, I get it. It's the 25th anniversary of A New Hope, but also it's the 20th anniversary of Attack of the Clones, and there's so many figures that they could have done for Attack of the Clones that they chose to go with A New Hope and rehash some outfits that are already done. Anyway, thank goodness we're getting that monstrosity of Lando and the Falcon because
he was in A New Hope.
yeah, that's what I heard. Anyway, but positivity. But you also see stuff like I always forget their extra brand, but Hallmark has an extra brand,
like the keepsake one.
yeah,
and stuff.
it's like keepsakes, but like that's where I got those salt and pepper shakers.
Oh,
for
that was
the
awesome.
Darth Maul in half. That was so good.
I still have that.
Yeah, I use it all the time upstairs. Really cool set though. It's a Darth Maul pepper shaker, but or salt and pepper shaker, and
And they stack on each
they
other.
stack, and then you divide his body.
It's fantastic.
It is a classic.
You brought that home and gave that to me from Chicago, and I was like, "This is awesome."
Yeah,
So,
it's just a cool set. But yeah, I can't remember. It's Pop something. I can't remember what their extra name is because it's not technically Hallmark. It's like it's pop culture stuff. So it's Pop something. I just can't remember what it is. But you'll find random trinkets like that. But also you'll have your big retailers, and then you also have your toy vendors that all they do they go show to show selling toys, which I don't know how they make any money because selling at Celebration is expensive. So good luck to all those guys this year because I don't want to spend money on those spots. But yeah, spending time, it's just about what you want to do.
and the artists, you'll have the artist row and stuff like
artist
that.
row along with authors and booksellers like Del Rey will be there, and
Del Rey has like 3 or 4 panels.
yeah,
I think
plenty of comics will be there also. I mean, between Dark Horse, Marvel, I mean, there will be anything Star Wars you can imagine. So divvying up your time, best advice I give, do exactly what you feel like you want to do. Don't get tied down to anything specific as far as like a schedule goes because things will change. But if you have panels you want to see, prioritize those because there will be lines for every panel. It's amazing. You could think you're going to a small panel, there'll be a line. So, because I mean, you're talking about 20,000 Star Wars fans in one building. So everyone's after the same stuff.
Yeah, and speaking of panels, I mean, let's go through some of the. Well, we already talked about the 4 main ones on the celebration stage each day. Starting Thursday, there was actually the one. There are a couple that I'm really interested in. One is the Attack of the Chords, which is the music of Episode 2, hosted by David Collins, and I don't know. Unfortunately, it overlaps with an audience with the Emperor. With Ian McDiarmid, and that starts at 1:30, and so I have to decide which one I want to go to. And
Do I want to spoil it? Which one I'm going to?
I think you're going to go try and sit with the Emperor. Yeah.
Yeah. The Emperor will be my focus there.
I mean, I'll probably have to. Well, yeah, because you can't go to one and then pop out and try and get in line. Well, I guess you could.
You
try and
could,
get in
but
line.
if there's no space, you're not getting in.
Correct. And I don't know if that one's being streamed to one of the other halls. I would guess that it might be. I know it's online. I didn't write it down.
Oh, which one? Oh, the Chords?
No, an audience with the Emperor.
So it's on Celebration.
Is it being streamed to Galaxy or Twin Suns?
Oh, it doesn't say. No, because it overlaps. So they can't stream it because it overlaps with both. There's 2 other shows going on at the same time.
You're right, yeah.
So if anything, that
one will be on the TVs.
would be on TVs, hopefully.
Right. But then there are a couple other like side ones that I have interest in on the 26th too. Which
I figured you were going to talk about the Galaxy stage one more time, real quick. There's a pretty prominent one from 3 to 4.
Oh well, yeah. I was going to talk about that one too. Yeah, the High
Yes.
Republic for Light and Life, and so
Yeah.
I will definitely be.
I feel like we'll all go to that.
I
one.
will definitely be there.
Yeah. Because it has all the authors of the Luminous authors. So
Project
Luminous, yeah. Really really excited to see what they're going to talk about, like
Well,
the future.
It should be phase 2 that they're getting ready
They're gonna
to
reveal.
roll into.
Right.
I actually just picked up my last issue of the High Republic comic over the weekend, or actually last Friday, from Altered State, which is a comic shop like right up the street from my house. So I've got now the full set, the full series of the first run of the High Republic. So pretty excited about that. But yeah, I can't wait for that one either. So High Republic, Ian McDiarmid, and then the Lucasfilm studio showcase, and that gets me pretty much
There's a lot to see
till 4 o'clock.
Well,
so from what is that, from 11?
There's times between
An hour.
But if you leave,
there's enough time to eat.
If you leave, you have to go back,
right,
and potentially stand in line.
Yeah, and then again, you've got all the side. I mean, because you've got a podcast stage, you've got the collector stage, you've got the fan stage, you've got the university stage, which is pretty interesting because like there's one on the mythology of Star Wars, then on like the that runs from 12:30 to 1:30. There's the history of the Kenner rocket firing Boba Fett. That's on the collector stage.
Yeah, they want to talk about the history of sellers that it went through, probably.
So
those guys are insane. The collectors that you'll meet here that are speaking on stage and stuff, like they are insane. Just insane. And the fact that they track these sales from person to person to find out who has it, so to speak, and also what they bought it for and everything else, like insane.
Well, we know one is at Rancho Obi-Wan. We know one is in that collection, but then you got like
for good reason,
right? I mean, then you got like stuff. There's like there's a STEAM classroom for, you've got more of the scientific aspect of things. Like they've got a All About series that runs from 4 to 6 most nights except for Sunday, where it's about the droids, and so they have the builders of the droids, like you were talking about from
ICCC.
From ICC, yeah. And so like Fridays R2D2, Thursdays R2D2. Friday's BB-8, Saturday's Chopper, and then Sunday's like all droids.
Saturday Chopper, huh?
Mm-hmm. Chop.
I can't wait to get some Rebel reveals in the new Ahsoka series,
which just started filming today. Which was cool. I saw the photo that Dave Filoni posted on Instagram, or somebody posted it. Maybe it was Star Wars Productions. But then Friday you've got Light and Magic, which I'm going to be going to. Strangely enough, that's not the big one.
You think you're going to it? That'll be the one that's Lotto,
right? Because it's the first one, like you were saying. But that one will be streamed on all of them, and that's the whole behind the scenes virtual effects stuff. So, but for me, the one after that I'm really excited about is the Summer of Lego Star Wars, and so I'll be sitting in there getting a kind of a preview of things. Which, granted, they've kind of announced a lot of things already, but they're also going to talk about the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga game as well. So, which I've been playing now for the last week or so, and it's a blast. If you haven't played it yet, try and find a copy of it. I mean, if you care about Blue Milk Luke, exclusive polybag, otherwise just buy the digital version. It's a great game. So, yeah,
Blue Milk Luke.
That fig's, anyways. Yeah, I got myself one. It's in my collection now. So.
You want to talk about one that I'm not excited to go to?
Okay.
That I might have to because my wife will be there that day.
Is it the D23?
It's
or is it From a Galaxy Far, Far Away to Disney Park near you?
It's a Star Wars merchandise sneak peek.
Disney Parks and Shop Disney.
Yeah. My wife will be like, "We should go to this one," and I want to shoot myself in the head because.
Well, you could take the kid. And she could go to that panel.
You mean she could take the kid to the panel and then let me do whatever I want?
I'm sure LJ is interested in the
merchandise.
Is interested in the
Disney?
merch.
Yeah.
They've got well, you're going to be. Oh no, because it's after. So you're going to be at the Hasbro panel, right?
Yes, the Hasbro panel is on my list. 3:30 to 4:30 on the Twin Suns. So I'll be there that day. They'll have to find something to do that hour. Sorry for and Olivia.
Oh, for the sneak peek merch.
Yeah, because they're not going to go with me to that. Olivia won't want to sit in that stage with me for Hasbro stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we're going to get some for free. And in that case, she'll have to go because I'll force her.
Oh, because the panels will sometimes do that, won't they?
They give away stuff, yeah. That's a good thing about panels. Like you'll get like my Mandalorian poster and my Ahsoka Clone Wars Season 7 poster. They both are signed. Those were giveaways from the panels.
Oh, gotcha.
So the panels will give away like free items. Kind of cool.
Thanks for showing up. Here's some swag.
Yes, episode 9. I got that episode 9 beanie. That was kind of cool. It just says 9 on it because we didn't know the.
Oh, they didn't have the name yet.
Didn't have the name yet until we got into it. Thank goodness they appropriately named it. Anyway,
and the other one. So there's actually two. Well, there's one other one on the Twin Sun stage, which is Let's Play Star Wars: A Galaxy of Tabletop Games, which I know you like playing the tabletop games. I know your brother loves tabletop games, but I enjoy that as well.
Fantasy Flight was a big. They had a huge exclusive. I think it was the Vader bomber on their in the last show, and it was based on one of the tabletop games. So it was like an exclusive ship you could only get at Celebration. So it was
cool,
highly sought after for those people playing that game.
But that one closes out the show, I think, on Friday.
Yeah,
from 5 to 6. The other one that I'm gonna have to check and see if it overlaps. But let me see, real quick. So I turn the pages here. Turn the page. Wash your hands. Then you turn the page. See, this is dang it.
What?
Well, it overlaps with the Attack of the Clones panel, which I will definitely be trying to get to. But it's the Toys That Made Us. It's a 5-year anniversary of a look back at the Star Wars episode, which if you're not aware of what the show is, it's on Netflix. They've got, I think, 3 seasons at this point.
Just go watch it.
It's fantastic.
If you enjoy toys.
If you like vintage toys, if you want to reminisce about the toys you grew up collecting as a kid, or not even collecting, just playing with Transformers, G.I. Joe, Barbie.
Well, not just enjoyed playing with them, but
TMNT.
like enjoy learning about their whereabouts and the background on them and some of the producers of those toys.
Like the story behind how Kenner ended up getting the contract with Lucasfilm over the merchandise is like they go into details in that show, and so and they've also got the movies that made us too. It's the same series. So if you haven't seen the Toys That Made Us, go watch it. But that runs from 1:30 to 2:30 on the collector stage, which overlaps with the Attack of the Clones panel, which is disappointing. So
I'll tell you what, Saturday's packed too. So Friday might be packed, but Saturday's packed also.
And that's the family day. So that's when the wives and the kiddos are coming with us. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know. Saturday there's a lot. Obviously, Mando. I love how they said Mando Plus is the name of the panel, but an hour after that's over is Mandalorian and Book of Boba
behind the scenes.
Come on, guys! Come on, really?
You're getting Favreau, Filoni, and Robert Rodriguez. So I hope would be interesting if we can get in on that panel, because I don't know if that's getting streamed. Probably not. It'll be interesting to hear them talk about why they chose to, or maybe they won't. Talk about why they included that Mando arc.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
In the middle of it,
I expect they will, because we haven't got a gallery on Boba. So I expect that'll be after we get Celebration stuff, because they're probably saving some of that stuff for Celebration, which is what I hope. And I'll be on that panel. I'll be in there. My problem is all these panels, if we don't win lotteries for some of the exclusives, I will be in line for exclusives. Ooh.
Which is fine.
No,
you gotta do what you gotta do.
It sucks. Like I said, it goes back to spend the time at the con that you want to spend. Like if you don't want to wait in line for exclusives because we didn't win lotteries, don't spend time in lines, because then you'll be disappointed you didn't go to something you wanted to go to. But yeah, I think that's the big thing. Like again, same advice. If you don't want to stand in line, don't stand in line. You can go do anything else. But if you want to stand in line for exclusives and kill half your day, well, understand. You're killing half your day waiting for those exclusives, because the standby line doesn't guarantee anything.
Right, and I'm hoping that I don't.
Right, we just win. We win all.
Well,
that
would be nice.
God, if we won all the lotteries, I'd be so happy.
Well, if we won all the lotteries for Celebration, I'm going out and buying some lottery tickets, because it ain't happened.
I don't mean the panel. Sorry, I just mean
just for the exclusives.
Just the toys.
Just the toys. Yeah, I don't know.
I'd like to win panels for like Mando and stuff like that, but like if I don't get to go to the Attack of the Clones, I can watch that on the screens in the convention hall. I'll be okay. But getting in the room for Mando Plus, last time there was a Mando, they showed us the entire first scene, like legit the entire first scene of the first episode.
And they should. I'm sure they've shot a number of episodes at this point for season 3, so there's no reason they
I
wouldn't be
hope
able
I
to do
get
it.
something good. So I do hope I get that panel lottery, and then the other panel lotteries are just like, if I get them, great, but like if it's not the first of the day, there's no lottery for it, so I can stand by for it.
Yeah, and then you've got in the afternoon on Saturday from 2:30 to 3:30, you've got Tales of the Jedi, which is the big one. Well, it's the big one in the afternoon because it's streamed to all 3 main stages, and it's the kind of the launch, I guess, of the animated anthology shorts. So Star Wars animation, we've talked about it before, is fantastic, from Clone Wars to Bad Batch to Visions. So I can't wait to see what is to come with Tales of the Jedi. There's a lot of buzz on social media about that, about what it might be. And so regardless of which stage we're sitting on or sitting in, I can't wait to find out about that. And then you've got there's a Marvel panel from 4:30 to 5:30, and then you got IMC 3PO with Anthony Daniels on the Galaxy stage from 5:30 to 6:30, which
Should be entertaining.
should be good. Now, I don't know how that's going to sync up with like dinner stuff from I guess the family will be at
They'll be at Disney.
They'll be at Disneyland.
Well,
so
fair game,
so it'll be
game for
fine.
us.
But then if I might try to catch the Doug Chiang designing the Mandalorian.
I was gonna say you skipped that one, and so I went to a Doug Chiang panel in Chicago, and listening to that man talk, especially you in the engineering world, oof,
like
I wouldn't want you to miss it, because the way he discusses how he draws ships and how he does everything else, like
yeah, if I got a chance to meet him, that would be. I mean, I know it won't, but
yeah, I'd love to get my picture taken with him.
that'd be awesome. And what's interesting is if we don't catch it from 4 to 5, apparently there's like an encore on the university stage where either that or there's a typo duplicate in the panel list on celebration.com, because from 4 to 5 on the Galaxy stage it's this, and then from 5 to 6 apparently it's the same panel, which I don't know how that would work.
I mean, who knows?
I don't know how you do that, but if that's the case, then cool. But yeah, I'm gonna try and catch that one, because again, I like the technical, being kind of nerdy myself.
Yeah.
Or not nerdy, but like technical. That piques my
It's
interest.
you, yeah.
So just like the Science of Attack of the Clones, there's one from 11 to 12, Science of Attack of the Clones on the university stage. I don't know if I have time.
If I had time.
If I have time, I'm gonna be dead at the end of this. I know it.
I know.
I'm not gonna have any sleep.
Sunday, we roll into the first panel of the day is Bad Batch Season 2. So I fly out on this day
Sucks to
because of
suck.
my Orlando commitments.
We'll let you know how it is.
I honestly, my flight's not till like 3 or 4, I believe, I hope. Because I'm going to try to make Bad Batch Season 2 panel. And unfortunately, I'm going to miss other stuff that I'd like to go see that day. But like look back at Star Wars Visions would be fun.
The Siege of Mandalore
The
screening
Siege of
looks awesome.
You know they're just showing the Clone Wars Season 7, like the last episodes, and you're like, do I want to see it on a big screen? The answer is yes. Yes, I do. I do, along with, because Dave Filoni will be there.
Yeah,
Like,
Filoni,
they'll all
Carrie
be
Beck,
there.
and Athena Portillo.
And I don't doubt that they'll have other people in there with them that they're going to bring on.
Well,
to
you
talk
could
about
have
stuff.
Whitwer come out. You have Ashley come out. Now, granted, they've got signing obligations at that time, so maybe they won't. But in fact, there's a panel that Ashley's running Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday on like mindfulness. So in case you have autographs those days, she will not be available from 2 to 3.
Well,
or
the
12
signage,
to
even though
12:30.
I know we already bought signage and photo ops and stuff, they'll start listing time frames that you have to actually click into. So pay attention to that if you did buy autographs, because you will have to sign up for a time slot or a time that you need to get in line at least, because obviously they have a lot going on. The one thing that I'm missing this year that I wish was there was Warwick Davis is not hosting, and he was awesome as an MC last show. The other thing that we're all missing, I think, is the fact that we don't have a full-length motion picture being announced, and that hurts some of the celebration anxiety, I think, and the excitement. just because in 2019 we had episode 9. Like, we knew we were gonna get the trailer, we knew we were gonna get the title, we knew it was coming. Right now we don't have anything movie related, but we love our shows that are being talked about, and obviously we have Obi-Wan launching those days, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, that Friday is going to be insane because you're going to have the buzz, obviously, with the 2 episodes of Kenobi dropping. That Friday is going to be ridiculous. I mean, the state of Star Wars content from a television perspective. I mean, yeah, we don't have a movie, but I mean, it's not a dig at the sequels, but it was, it wasn't the most universally well received sort of trilogy.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so, yes, you had the excitement at Celebration because everyone's a Star Wars fan there, and so, you're getting hyped. I think with the TV stuff,
there's still enough to look forward to.
There's a universal hype still around the TV stuff that I think makes up for the lack of movie. But
this is one of the first celebrations they've had without looking forward to something.
Exactly.
Now, granted, the ones in the middle between prequel and sequel trilogies, like, it was not Dead Space, but there wasn't a movie. But the last few years of celebrations, we've been looking forward to a movie. So it's been.
But at least we get the anniversaries. So like you got Clone Wars this year. If they chose to have one next year, it would be 40th of Return of the Jedi. I don't know why they wouldn't do that.
They're going to do it.
Right. 24, there's nothing. But then 25, you have 20 years of Revenge of the Sith and technically 10 years of Force Awakens. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Just to look out in the future a little bit.
10 years.
10 years of
already.
Force Awakens, yep. So, but the last panel I had marked as noteworthy for me, which you'll be gone at this point, is the creatures from Return of the Jedi. So the creature maker from Return of the Jedi is going to be hosting a panel on the Twin Sun stage Sunday afternoon, and so I will be going to that.
You'll be there, absolutely.
And if he doesn't bring out Salacious Crumb, and
start moving him around,
puppet him.
Yeah.
So, timing, I know I'm already going to be tired running between Disney on Wednesday and then 4 days of the show. Thank God Monday is Memorial Day. I have some.
It's going to be a lot.
Opportunity to
I know you guys. You've never been to a con like this.
No.
Neither is Keith really. Who's the other guy we're going with? I mean, he went to Chicago, but he only went to the con for 1 day.
Oh yeah, because he had to drive home Sunday
because he started a new job, so he couldn't be there the entire weekend, and it started snowing on that Sunday, so he was like, "I'm just getting out of here." I'm like, "I get it." So he only went on Saturday, and it was a big day. I think for him, and this is what I did the first day at my first big con too, was you see stuff you want, and you just go crazy and try to control that.
You know what? I don't know that because I'm not looking for anything, right? So like you're going to look for the exclusives. If I get the Lego exclusive, cool. I mean, I say that.
Get the hell out of here.
I say that.
You'll be on the chats that night.
Like, all right, who's got one?
Who got the lottery? I need somebody with a lottery for Lego. I need that.
Exactly. I mean, but outside of that, I don't have a lot of stuff that I collect like you do with the Black Series stuff or the Funkos or anything like that. So, maybe I buy an art piece here or there because they did release the art last week, some of the commissioned special pieces for the show.
Yeah.
And they all look really, really cool.
Just make sure you bring a poster tube.
Yes. Yeah, I'll buy one there. But I'm hoping that, I'll have some restraint and that most of my money is probably going to go towards those photo ops or autographs.
If we win lotteries, you're buying everything, right? Just to remind you.
Given the fact that I've been going to a lot more of those toy shows, a lot more of the Toy Mans and Quad-Cons, it might benefit me too.
Oh no, I'll buy them off you.
Oh,
for
you
retail, will? And then
for a percentage.
Oh well,
for finder's fee.
We'll chat later.
I'd like what I paid plus tax, plus shipping, and
right.
I'm gonna ship it to your house.
That's fine.
So yeah, that's.
You're charging me handling? I'm right here. Well, I handled it, didn't I?
I handled it right into your hands. There you go. Enjoy.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, it's going to be a fun-filled 4 days. Really looking forward to seeing people, and I know that sounds silly, but being around like-minded fans, and again, everyone's kind of starting to get back to normal. It's been a really crazy 2 years, and it'll just be nice to have that vibe again.
Yeah.
Frankly, I can't wait. It's been, like I said, 3 years. Feels like forever, and we're 2 weeks away from it. So I'm not going to believe it's real until I walk in that Thursday, but I'm just prepared to have my mind blown, and I absolutely can't wait. So
yeah, it should be a blast. It's hard to explain anything else. Oh, and we even left out the store.
Oh, jeez.
Just
I've bought enough like pre-merch that
you think
don't
think that there'll be exclusive merch there though, Sean. Exclusive merch.
I'm still waiting on the shirts and stuff that I bought 2 months ago.
Yeah,
So,
and badges.
and the
We got
badges.
So,
Got 2 weeks.
Figure it out.
Let's go USPS.
figure it out.
Please pick it up. Please, please, please.
That's very worse. We have Friday passes.
Wonder what happens if we don't get them. Do I have to pick them up at will call, or how does that work? I don't know. I guess
they'll
we'll
figure it out.
I guess we'll figure that one out.
Hopefully, we just get them.
Yeah.
The goal is
hopefully I don't have
just
to figure
get
that
them.
out.
Yeah. What else do we have tonight? We covered a lot.
I think that's it. That was it for the main stuff. I mean, I already talked about the Skywalker Saga game, so I don't have to touch on that. I don't know that we have any toy news. I did buy the UCS Luke Landspeeder Lego during the May the 4th kind of promo, but
there was actually quite a few new Black Series figures announced. I'm not going to go into all of them here, but one of them is a Wandering Jedi Obi-Wan figure that got announced on May the 4th. It got leaked because Ewan was doing an interview with Stephen Colbert.
I saw that.
Was it Stephen Colbert?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Or was it Jimmy Fallon?
It was Colbert.
Okay. But it got leaked on that show, and then obviously Hasbro came through with the official announcement. But yeah, super, super cool. Looking really forward to that figure because, I mean, who doesn't want another Obi-Wan? So really cool stuff.
Yeah, I saw there was like a Endor Leia that got announced.
Yeah, her and her like
the ceremonial
dress.
stuff.
Yeah,
And a bunch of other troopers that, of course, you didn't know you needed until they
Totally.
told you needed them.
Yeah, until they showed up with different color stripes. That's what we need. I need them all. I didn't order anything.
Congratulations.
I'm
That shows
sure-
restraint.
I'm sure I ordered something.
That
but
shows restraint.
I didn't order anything in my head. In my head, I didn't order anything.
Your wallet says otherwise.
It does. Do you think Dave Filoni will sign a Trapper Wolf figure if I take one?
And you happen to find him on the convention floor?
Yeah,
Probably.
just randomly.
Probably.
Just, hey, Dave, real quick.
Yeah,
You
I
also
mean,
mind giving me your cowboy hat? 'Cause
I've heard that like if you just see him out and about, that he's
generally good.
super
yeah.
chill. So
The problem is he's got handlers and everything else, so it's tough. I mean, obviously, 25 to 30,000 people on the show floor.
well, and he's become quite
fan
famous,
favorite.
quite famous
Yeah.
over the last 5 to 6 years. So
Yeah, before the last season of Clone Wars was announced, or Mando, or Disney Plus period, you could have just walked up to him. Now it's a little different. I would also love to get my Heavy Mando signed by Jon Favreau, but unlikely.
good luck with that one.
I'm just gonna jump on stage real quick. Just hey, can you guys autograph?
It
these
didn't work
things
for
real-"
Dave, the guy who jumped on stage for Dave Chappelle. I wouldn't do it.
Dave Chappelle's different though. That's different people.
If you do, I'll explain to your wife why we have to bail you out of jail.
That's good. It is nice during panels too, because in some of the panels they have like a side seating that they picked random guests for to go sit up on stage, and so you get to view the panel from the stage.
Really?
Kind of cool. But I mean, it literally is just 100% random. Like the MC will just be like, whoever's got their hand up, and he'll be like, "Boom, you!" And like sometimes they ask questions, like, and if you get the question right, they'll be like, "Come on up." So maybe study
Trivia?
up. Maybe study up. Yeah. Well, they do a lot of trivia.
I love trivia.
They do trivia in the pregame, so to speak, for the celebration stage, especially. Like they'll do
Nice.
like random trivia,
Okay.
and you have the whole crowd behind you, because they'll razz you if you get it wrong. Clearly, because we're all Star Wars fans.
Never felt so much pressure
So
before in my whole life.
how did you miss that? Who shot first? No, I'm kidding. That's not a question. Usually.
Greedo. Cough.
But yeah, it's really good. They have a good time. The MCs do a great time. Do a great job there. Music's great. Everything. I mean, everyone's in a good mood because we're all there for Star Wars. Can't wait. Can't wait. Can't speak enough to how much I can't wait. I think
That's it. Yeah.
that might be it tonight.
Yeah. So, as we come to a close on another great episode, a jam-packed episode, we want to thank you all for listening. For the giveaway, we'll do We'll just do ICCC
Okay, with 3 C's.
with 3 C's for the code. So again, I know we didn't plug it at the beginning because it's super packed, but enter the code or send us the code, DM us the code, whatever.
ICCC.
Yeah, 3 C's.
We really should have just done celebration.
I thought about doing celebration.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, we'll just leave it ICCC.
ICCC.
So, but enter the giveaway to get randomly selected for the prints that we're giving away.
They're gonna be cool.
Yep.
We're gonna do live drawing at Celebration for at least a couple of them.
At least. Again, want to thank you all for listening. If you enjoy the content, please do consider sharing it. Like, rate, review on
subscribe. Spotify. Give us those stars.
Yeah. If you enjoy it, and give us a rating. 5 stars are great, but any rating is appreciated. Yeah, look forward to recapping after this bonsai trip. It's going to be great. So until next time, for Jedi John, I'm Obi-Sean.
May the Force be with you.
Force